time in the market will outplay time, especially if you're just learning. That's why I said this should always just be the small part. Learn the nuances with a little bit. Hold the good projects. Take these 20s, 40s. Some of these have been 84% beam. Hello. Right? Stacks. Hello. We have talked about the while it's been consolidating. I'm waiting for the next little bit more of a pullback and I'll load up the bags again. If you're always looking for that perfect entry for the long term, you could be standing on the sidelines for the whole damn game.
Hey everybody, it's NFA OFC, not financial advice, of fucking course. Thanks for hanging out with us late night, Monday Madness, Monday midnight, show 67, April 16th. And then we'll be doing another one April 16th at 7 p.m. PST. So Pope, if you want to join me, my friend, my little primate with laser eyes, hey there.
I'm here. We made it.
We've got it. This is where I think Pope and I really actually wake up for a functioning day, which is how we know we do. We work a lot.
Been working all
day. No. We've been working all day, but this is where we come alive. I mean, we want to hang.
Shine. Yes, I hear what you're saying.
Absolutely. So I'm really excited to chat with you because, my dad's feeling all right. And I know we're supposed to be getting to it, but I'm going to make this the candy edition because I'm going to tell you a couple of things I've got here.
Okay.
I got Smarties, strawberry. What is that? I bought some to bring to you tomorrow. And I got Toffee coconut.
Ooh.
So I'm just letting you know what I'm going to be snacking on while you're teaching us all some stuff today.
Nice. You missed a little bit yesterday. So glad to hear Dad's doing so much better. And thanks for all the comments from the people. That's great to hear as well, for the blessings. Before we get into too much of it, over the weekend we did a little market crash analysis and was looking at what happened and looking at what could happen. A lot of the stuff has played out, and we said it can always go down more. And some of these entries that I gave, we were always, hey, this could go down more. Don't go all in. I'm anticipating we may have to go in again at those entries when we talked about it, but we want to avoid catching the falling knives, but we also want to get these good entries because we're starting to get at price points that were early February, January for some projects. And these pullbacks are where the opportunities are. But to understand that, we have to understand how the money is moving in. And I call that the money flow cycle, the total market cap of everything going on.
And it is definitely, that was cool. I think we should do that again.
That was awesome. Primo, you're killing it, man.
I freaking love you. I love you, buddy. So what it is, before we really start, Bitcoin and ETH, obviously, eventually, but we always do the market cap and the dominance first to see where the money's moving in the market so we know where to put ours.
Let's do it.
Let's do it, buddy.
So when we start on a zoomed out perspective on the weekly, we're still in the same pattern and we haven't changed any of this. And I said I start to panic when we break this 2.193. That's where right now everything here I'm seeing as opportunity. I'm not seeing as the sky is falling. When we get down to these levels here, and we talked about it when this happened, it gets really close to me taking a little bit of a loss, waiting for things to cool down. I am not at that position. I've been very adamant about that I've been saying. I keep loading up the bags, and I'm trying to find some of the better entries on these while riding out the global economics of how all this not only works with the markets, but with all the geopolitical crap that goes along with it. So we still seem to be in this area, which we've been in before. support and resistance that we measured out quite a while ago, and we're still on this trajectory. So our stochastic is saying we may have some more downwards pressure, uh, but we're still on our micro bull indicator flat. We've curled, but we have not curled down. We are just flat at the moment. And having pullback is healthy. We want these pullbacks, consolidations, and then we can continue to go. On the daily, we can see where we're fighting the support and resistance right now. We came right to it and pulled down. We are looking for the belly, as I always say, of our micro bear, micro bull indicator. Oops. We're looking for this to mellow and then to turn, and then this to do the same. And then what that does is our candle action comes into these points. In every market, there's bulls and bears. And we've been talking about it since here, that this compression of it was scary and that we needed the breakout retest, but we didn't ever really got much expansion. And we said this could come. It all played out not as bad. I mean, nobody called the black swan. So of course we made some entries right before it happened. And I said it was a good exercise for non-experienced traders, because what do you do when these kind of events happen? And this is now how we're mitigating the trades that I've entered. I've put all the buy sheets in our Discord. I've got nothing to hide. I believe most people are down. Tons have been, liquidated. And by the strategy we've done so far, our downs have been minimized quite well for what's happening. We do want to see this belly happen on our total market cap. I'm watching mostly on the fours. And what I'm seeing is, I'm actually going to take these away from the daily. It's starting to look like a double bottom. We're indecision here. We're in support in this area. Parallel channel down. We're wanting more money to come in. If there was an interesting tweet today, there was a few. In the last bull run, Elon made a tweet about Bitcoin was a scam or something, and it caused it to drop like 40 some odd percent. We're at war, and it's only did a minor pullback. And typically, once the news and everything cools off with what's going on, sadly, markets respond well to those environments. So I'm curious if we are going to be in this kind of W pattern. Obviously, it'll be, up and down on those lines. It's not going to be perfectly straight. And we'll see how this plays out. I am watching it very closely. Because if we do break this level that I talked about, we need to be prepared to make decisions. Loss sucks, but I'm not somebody that round trips to zero. Right now, like I said, I think we're in a accumulate phase, and it'll pay dividends later. But it's hard to believe that when everybody's in, the echo chambers are saying the bull runs over, blah, blah, blah. What is the data saying? What is the TA saying? Well, we can see we're still down, but we're a lot tighter. And when we had this curl here, this is what we're looking for normally. And this is where we took entries to hopefully bottom. Well, we had retaliation announced today. of bad news, more missiles. So the price action followed it. It went down. There's a point at where the institutions will buy because of value. And I think those value price points are holding around that $2 trillion market cap area. And I think it is important for it to hold. I would like to see this start to belly and this start to get closer. And one of the things is we are getting a smaller gap in here than we do here, which is an indication in this case of money leaving the market and more of it versus price action if it was a trading pair. So I think the next day or two, I would love to see just be back up to these levels and cool off and get the micro bull. We have all possibility of getting down, wicking down to this gray line. Wicks, I can handle. I'm not going to panic on a wick or one candle. If it's significant, I will wait for pull up and then get out. But right now, the plan is always there. The strategy is to never be all in, to never obviously ever play more than you're willing to lose, and try to do it sensibly. So I'm thinking if this pattern plays out, our prices right now and where we got in are pretty decent. And we should start to see that money flow back into our Bitcoin and in our alts. So dominance is probably, as I said last all weekend, is probably going to be off the charts. It's mellowed out a bit. Oh, it's 4 hour. That makes sense. If we look on the daily, it's because all that money came out of the alts and they bled and they went into Bitcoin, especially if you were in shitty ones. That's why I try to be in good ones. And then now we saw a little bit go back in. We've seen some uptick in the alts in the last little bit here. Having a large surge up in dominance right now, to me, is actually going to be a good thing. I want to see this start to go because that means money is going to be flowing into the market. It'll be slowly trickling back into alts. Some alts probably will see bigger, faster rebounds. We've already seen that in some. And some, like the trades we're in, and like we disclosed in the Discord, I did on the show, these trades are for a few weeks to possibly a couple of months. We have weekly targets on them. These trades are not swing trades, get in and get out. All the principles are the same, but we're trying to buy a better be smarter with our capital with these trades. So dominance doing exactly responding to what it should be. I'm hoping this starts to crank in the next couple of weeks, and then we see finally an alt run. On the 4 hour, we have compression. It's looking like it wants to give us a bearish cross. If it did, and the market cap stayed the same or increased, that would be an alt run, which would be great. I think it will hopefully be compression for a breakout to the upside because more money coming in, which is also indicating down here in stochastic that it is in a position to go to the upside.
Hey.
Hey.
You're doing great.
Cool.
Oh, perfect timing. I have a question about dominance,
Okay.
but I was hoping I just wait till dominance was over. Have you ever looked at or considered in your TA dominance excluding Bitcoin and ETH?
Yeah, there's lots. I also look at market cap excluding ETH. There are lots of different where you can do that. For me, mostly I find this works for the level of trading. I have tried it. It gets to a point of also oversaturation of data and having a ton of indicators. I have used, as you know, maybe a lot of people don't, I've tried hundreds of these things. And I've tried them at many different ones together, trying to work the information so it paints a better picture, clearer picture. And I've been able to whittle it down to these ones that have given me decent accuracy to be able to do this. And then it's the emotional management and strategy, because they're never always going to be right. Indicators aren't always right all the time at all. Actually, I just watched a short on this. And when we talk about confluence, it's when the indicators, your analysis, and your own rational thought all align to make sense. That's confluence. That's a good trade. But most Wall Street traders, they get 2 to 3 out of 10 correct. They lose 7-8%.
When I heard that, it made me laugh a lot.
That's a baseball average.
Yeah.
Right. And you've seen some shots of people's journals that they have shared, and their win hit rate is amazing. What helps you get better as a trader are these kind of tougher times, having faith in the indicators as well, and riding out when we've been saying, hey, prices are probably going to dip a bit here. We always know we can't time the bottom and the top. Where do you call those comfortable balances? That's your risk tolerance, and there are certain factors I like to add to mitigate my risk, but I could mitigate my risk more by not entering trades on a belly of a bear. I could wait for that bullish cross, but I know the majority of the time I'm losing that percentage gain of understanding where the market's trying to take that pivotal shift, that supply zone, that demand zone, as Amir calls it in our Discord. And where institutions go, yeah, this makes sense to buy it. There's all that mentality that kind of also comes into play. And then you also got to look at, what are the sheeple doing? Where is that money in the market? Where is the attention? And that's why we had a good run on SOL for a bit earlier. I wasn't trading meme coins. I did a couple, but it was only a few $100s, but I traded SOL, and we got in and got out and it did great with it, just because the attention on its blockchain. And then now with some of these entries we got that we'll go over, we look at what are the indicators saying now to when we made those decisions, and how those decisions look today, and how are they looking possibly tomorrow. When we're short-term trading, we still have to analyze our positions. Doesn't mean you have to panic. Doesn't mean, if they're not in the best of situation at the time. And we've seen that with some of the trades we've already done. But we've also been a little bit blessed since we've started the show in January. It's pretty much been straight up, outside of our first all-time high crash, which we covered as well in the Discord. And we made up that bounce back rather quickly. This one, a little bit of a different game. And that's because of the war issue. But I do believe it'll settle, not the tensions. And sorry for all that. I want to stay away from politics and religion and all that. We'll just stick to finance.
Not political advice, of fucking course.
Right? Can we not all just get along? But let's look at how these events and how this affects, and it absolutely does, our trading, and our situations. So Bitcoin at the moment, I'll jump back into that, has pretty much played virtually. I'm going to put it back on screen. I don't know why we lost it here. There we are.
Because I was playing.
That's all right. So Bitcoin here, we gave 2 entries back in whenever this was, and we were looking for this belly I'm talking about on our micro bear. And this is the micro bear hitting. The bigger the lines, the bigger the price action. the curl saying it wants to come, the compression, there's your micro bull, goes off, boom, boom. And there's no rhyme or reason to how long a micro bear or micro bull is going to last. We just know they happen. And when we can look at where the price typically consolidates in from a low to a high, it starts to paint a bigger picture. And that's why I'm like, I'm never really panicking when we're here, because we've been here so many times and we've done well and come back, and the sky was falling every single time. Right. And at first, I even had a couple buddies then go, really, dude, I didn't expect you to go so low on Bitcoin. You seem always so bullish. And this one hit. And now it's just above it. And we still looking like we got some down action, but it's wanting to curl. And clearly, this daily support at 63.81259 is an area of contention for it. It hasn't been able to break it yet. And we even said when we drew this squiggle, and I can't remember on what time frame we drew this squiggle, but the point of the squiggle is it would probably consolidate or curl. Well, this was probably the curl on a bigger time frame. This was the daily, I bet. Yeah, that was what we were hoping for. And this is what happened. And we said it could easily pull up or just as much come down to our trend line. And look where the fuck it came to. Pardon my French. I hope that's not a rude expression. Never thought of that till now. Je m'excuse. Mais français, ami. So right now, can I say Bitcoin's doing anything I didn't really expect it to, or out of the norm? No.
Not yet.
So should I be panicking? No. Do I want this level of curl? Kind of like that? Yeah. And this is strength. Coming all this way back up is strength. That's a good sign. It's in a buy position on stochastic on the daily. In the middle, Sheeple says, yeah, that's bullish. Hong Kong spot ETFs could go live as soon as this month. We know on Saturday, this was news, and why we got that bump just before we gave our. I went for dinner, and then the markets ran. I go away on the road trip, and I can't respond, and the markets crash. It's been hilarious. But
yeah, we can call it hilarious. That's fun. That's a fun word to use.
Right, learning. It's learning. If we can't laugh at, when we're having fun. I mean, Bollinger gave us an entry, red, green in, still popped down. So there's another example of no one indicator is perfect. We wouldn't take this as an entry on Bollinger when our micro bear is firing us, telling the price is going down. We're wanting this belly, knowing that price is going to the upside. Stochastic is telling us money should be coming in and moving to the upside. And that's on the daily. So that's healthy. And this is day 2 of our weekly candle. On the 4 hours, it's really trying to hold and get back while holding this line. And it's in the middle. And there's some, lack of a better word, fear, which would make sense. So Bitcoin, a lot of people are saying, this is the other thing I'm hearing, that if Bitcoin drops this level here, there's nothing underneath it. This is what I keep hearing right now. It's going to go all the way down to 50 if it doesn't hold this level. Really? It's going to go all the way down there? There's nothing. Ooh. Different keyboard. Give me a sec here. There's no other support or
resistance within
resistance
that, like,
or little steps all the way fucking down. Can it do a big red fast one? Absolutely. But we know it mostly acts in steps. So there's nothing here. You know, data, not people.
would it do some good to look at it? I think maybe have we done it on the weekly? I don't see anything yellow up there.
We reset this one just recently. The weekly is
Okay,
so on the daily that it didn't really matter. It's
totally.
following almost textbook to it, and like I said, it's 5 days left on this candle, so nothing really needs to be adjusted. Um, and on the weekly, I mean, we also know that weekly supports are way stronger, so it's going to stop at there's going to be a battle at 59. And there might be lots of wick action or daily price action between there, but from here to 50, or the 40s and all the other stuff, it's
Mhm.
engagement farming, and they're good at it, and people listen and believe it. I mean, look how long it's been fighting above just these levels here already and holding it. And we're having all this news right now. So, and we've had tremendous ups. It makes sense. People are taking profits in it. Hopefully, in the next few candles, we see the rest work way up and we see this double bottom play out. Ethereum. I mean, we hit both our entries from when we gave them back here, and we were thinking this was a stink bid at the time because it was the weekly. And we're talking about those steps, these are day long candles. I'm sure if we go down to the 4 hours, uh, you can see these probably support and resistance over here where these were. So if you're ever really panicking and you're thinking that kind of line of thinking, that's probably a good indication you have too much money on the line or too much, not your risk assessment is out. So even from our bottom entry, it's clearly showing up and it's looking like it wants to mellow. Holding 3 for ETH, I think, is important. I've talked a lot how ETH is just getting beaten up because of the other narratives going on with the other blockchains and a lot of misunderstanding about all of the technology and what ETH is and everything, that it's just gotten a little bit of hate for no reason. But trust me, I think ETH was, I mean, if people call Bitcoin gold, then this is silver kind of a thing. So I think it's going to mellow. Same thing. I think we have a possible double bottom up. It wouldn't surprise me if it came down to the same level and then back up. Looking like it really wants to hold here, though, which is a good sign, which we figured it would at the 3059, which is why it's a bottom, and it's also a weekly. So ETH looking like it's ready to curl back up, and then same thing. It's going to have resistance here. It's going to have resistance here. It's going to have major resistance here. And it probably could go down here, here, here. And sadly, nobody has the answer. Our indicators are telling us it wants to chill and come for that cross. But world events will make that happen or not. Actually, I'll leave those two and see how that plays out. So let's look at we entered a bunch of trades before this when we were looking at the total market cap. We were in this belly here coming in this micro bear and finding trades to go to the upside. We got some great entries, and then, boom. And of course, it was the weekend and I went away. And by the time I got back, our trades were quite low. So, what do you do? Where are they at? Well, what we did over the weekend is we looked to dollar cost entry, not dollar cost average. I mean, it is sort of an average, absolutely, but we're not dollar cost average trading as we're going to keep adding to our bags to hold for long term to get out. What we're trying to do is draw our entry price here with an entry price here. So as soon as we start to get to the median or above, if we put more in down here, we're in profits already. And we found a belly here. And then, bad news today. And it's looking like it's going to start to belly here. We also got an entry with our Bollinger red out, green in. The curl indications are there. This is a textbook play of the micro bear to get into the micro bull, but also a textbook example of it can go down again. And why wasn't this a textbook example? Red out, green didn't go into the red band, first off. Oops. So this green is this funny color because it's our critical fear and greed. So it actually changes the colors. So that's technically not an entry. And even if it gave us an entry, we can see we're still in a straightward down motion on the micro bear, micro bull, which we know price means it's going down. We want the belly. We got the belly, got in for this next one, had a little bit of pullback. And even on the show last night, when we were doing this over the weekend, I said there's a good opportunity or chance we might come down again, just due to geopolitical events. And if we do, we're not going all in here. And even when I posted these trades, these entries were a little bit less than these ones to mitigate that risk. Because if we have to go in again, we can with capital. If we went all in here, now we're out. But this is where you don't want to catch falling knives. We don't want this to go down again and then have to consolidate and buy in again. So it is starting to look like we're getting that curl. And we're just below our little entry here. It's going to take a little bit for us to start to see the profits in this. If this does start to go down, we are going to look for that consolidation, but we're going to wait a little longer, be a little more patient. And then what we're going to do, like I said on the show, is we will re-enter for more down here. So once we do start to turn around, we'll be in profits right away because we totaled more than these entries. That's part of strategy for entering and exit. A little bit harder when you're playing with smaller budgets. I do admit that and understand that. So when you break it down, if you're only playing with $1,000, it's hard to leave a whole bunch of money in and then only play with $100 at each one of those entries and trying to win. I do understand that. But if you are playing with it and you did say 500 here and 500 here, we're now hoping to turn. And also, as I said, these trades are meant for the longer term. These are trades we're going to follow like we picked in January that we took up to some time. Our goals for these trades if you're just tuning in, we're looking to make a cup and handle out of this capitulation on 1 inch, and now that we bought him back down here and we'll wait for our signal, this is going to come down. It's costing us a little bit more at the moment, but it's still going to work out in the long run.
This is why looking back and looking out, can put it in perspective. Because when you look, you kind of even that close to what you're doing right now is pretty overwhelming, but you look over the weeks. And a lot of people, like you said, not to assume what amount of money people are putting down, but these are all so just good ways to practice how to do it even before the money is happening, to be honest.
And that was part of what we did yesterday on the hunt, late last night, early this morning, our time, is I'm looking now for some good set and forgets. Where can we find, say, good 10 tokens, throw some stuff at them and completely forget about them? $500, $1,000, $100, whatever the budget is. There's some really good projects that we started hunting that I'll go in quickly. And I said, if all things stay good, this could be a good entry. And I even said on the show, I am not entering any of these because I'm going to find a bunch. And I also want to compare them to see if I find, say, 20 entries. Well, I want the best 10. I'm not going to take all 20. How do I do that? Where are they to their most, where are they now to their next major level of resistance? Whatever has that best price amount is where I want to go, And another interesting thing, when you start to look at these and learn as a trader, we talked about a little while ago how I've been moving my stink bids a little higher because I was missing them. Now I'm like, maybe a little too high, but not bad because it's already pulling right up with all this bad news to where it was. And we already know, let's not beat ourselves up for the entries. These were in the right conditions for that time, and a black swan event happened. Now we've had the price fall. It's clearly looking like now we're having consolidation. Time for re-entry to now take this will be our next localist resistance now, and then our next level of resistance, and then our next level of resistance. These are long-term strategies and thinking to how we trade. And if shit hits the fan even worse, it could easily, and let's hope not, but it could go, and then consolidate down here. It sucks, but it's also a reality. We don't have an indication of that now. We have consolidation support on a daily. We had critical fear firing. This is a whole lot of indication that this is probably a pretty safe bottom. So this is an educated guess that hopefully safe bottom. Might not be. Hoping. But like I said, not financial advice, fucking course. But this is how I do. This is what I do. And how I will play when these events happen. So Ave showing some decent strength from where it's dropped to in the day. That makes me happy. Curious to see how much resistance this does become at the moment. I will be watching all these trades because if we do get the cross and it's below where these lines are for whatever trade it may be, I may be doing a re-entry. If that happens, I'll be just as transparent with all of that as I have been. And you can see some strength in Algorand here. Already above, held this line really well. That's a healthy sign. Starting to really narrow on the micro bear, micro bull indicator, right? Looking like it wants to make that cross to move to the upside. Also another one that's kind of looking like a double bottom. Ugly, but they all seem to be following the same path. Why? Because it's a Bitcoin cycle. It's what Bitcoin is doing.
I need a 10-second break. The break's going to include me telling you about these strawberry Smarties that I've been downing while you're chatting.
What?
At first they were gross, and now I kind of like them. I'll let you be the judge tomorrow.
I'm a big Smarties fan.
Yeah, but
That might
you're gonna try them though.
Oh, I'm not saying I'm not. Let's be clear.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Uh, absolutely.
If
Let's.
anywhere but Canada, Smarties are way better than the American Smarties.
Do they have
That's
in the
they have
U.S.?
they're we call them those rockets, those disgusting pressed powder candies. We get them at Halloween.
Uh, yeah, those aren't Smarties. Yeah,
No, our Smarties are chocolate candy coated, and it's so much better than M&M's. Blah, blah, blah.
I was just gonna say they're just crappy versions of M&Ms, but there we are.
But then M&M's have I could talk about this all day. All right, as you were. Thank you. That was more than 10 seconds. Bye.
Here we are. Uh, Avalanche, AVAX starting to mellow. Definitely took a bigger dip than we thought. We thought we would catch a stinky wick under the 36.99 weekly support. It's come down into these areas off. Buying AVAX at these prices was February. And so much stuff is coming on Avalanche. If you felt like you missed out, these are exciting times. I'd wait a bit. I want to know that this isn't going to turn down and come back down in here and have to have a couple more buy lines in. There will probably be one buy line with more money on it as opposed to step down entries. So, like I said, inverse the profit going back up. Not inverse, you know what I mean, hopefully. So this again will probably come a level of resistance for a bit, pull down, hopefully hold this as support and continue its way up. Be really nice to see this finally curl. Leave it like that. Cello is definitely showing its strength. I've said we've had such good times with this already. And here is where I look back and I go, you know, I should have put my stink bid on the weekly. You know, that's a no-brainer. That was a tired 3 a.m. thing, or hopium that it wouldn't go because of critical. But it would have made sense. Am I upset? No, we're still going to do well. But there is no perfect trade, in or out. But as I've been saying, to hit that a lot of times. Double clicking on something that when I was on a paintbrush. Oh, because I'm still on the paintbrush. Apologies. That's just driving me nuts there. So same thing again, cello. We have some beautiful targets for cello or CeeLo or whatever it is. And to give you an idea, where's current price? 7798. I'll just take it from there. 64. Hoping to make that cup and handle there eventually for the 220. And I think that's reasonable for what's going on. We're still at a higher low. So that's bullish, coming into bullish, and that's on the weekly. On the daily, looking like it wants to curl, a little preemptive. Holding this weekly line though, the support, like I said, that was a whoops. Dot already above our lowest entry, looking at that curl, looking at that coming in. It'll go up, pull back, and then go as if the money is coming into the market like we're all suspecting. It's going to be all the little steps. Would love to see a couple of these equal green size candles on the way up. Could also have a pullback, be a double bottom and go. I don't know. This is showing some decent strength.
Is it just me, or does the movement in every single token look the same? It looks like the same
Well, that's because we're
patterns.
that's just yes and no, because we're focusing on ones that are in these play setups, right? We're focusing on, how many tokens we have and on how many lists,
I know,
right?
but if you can find
So
this many with this same pattern, I mean, and I know that's your watch list, but it's just dawning on me now that you use these same tools, you find these same kind of patterns that are on the same wave.
but not all of them are, just the ones I'm trying to enter are, because this is how.
That's what I'm
Yeah, and that's
saying.
why on the hunt, I go through hundreds of these just to look for
Mhm.
this exact thing.
Yeah, and you're going this
And
one, this one, this one, line
yeah,
them up, and then just start knocking them off. Got it.
mhm.
Cool, cool.
Phantom coming right up to our bottom from that dip would have been beautiful. And now we're hoping this dip just like the others. And the reason they're all looking alike too is they are, like I said earlier, they're following Bitcoin because it's a Bitcoin cycle. And very little money of it right now is flowing out of Bitcoin, the dominant. So that's probably why we're seeing a little bit of green coming in, because we have a little bit of green here in our market cap. Oh man, I can't remember what tools I'm on when I switch. So we're seeing green here and red here, which means we'll hopefully start seeing greens in the alt. And you pick good ones when then they all start turning green and are following the same pattern. So fetch having a little more difficulty pulling up than the others, which is interesting. So it's neat to see the different strengths of others. It is pulling up. It is making it. It does look like it wants to do the same curl, but it definitely hit little more a little more. It got hit a little harder uh, than our other entries. It is one I'll be watching. If we do get another down to this line, I will be repurchasing. For now, not so much. File looking like it's right at the line with this money movement. We can see there was that belly. We got on the pull down, so we got confirmation of the belly on this green. We say we wait for the pullback. We got our pullbacks on this 1-2 candle here. Went a little lower. Could have went down probably. You know, cut the difference in the wicks for support and resistance there, and this would have been a better stink bid. Support and resistance is definitely this line right now. Hopefully curl and be on our way back. It's Filecoin. This to me is also a long bag of holds, so adding more at these positions I'm 100% okay with.
No financial advice, fucking course.
Right. Another one doing lots of double bottoms, looking like they're just starting to play out. Getting belly, getting tighter. We're not in a downward path of this. We can see that curl. It's going to come up, come back, and hopefully continue. And then now we have a nice trend to this direction. And then as soon as we're, just slightly above these lines, we're already in profit. This will probably become our take profit zone. We'll probably be up in this area for our first round. We'll see. We'll see what it says by then. Chainlink, I think we nailed the bottom of this one. Beauty, looking like the curl. Chainlink, I even think I said it feels wrong at these prices. Would be a really nice, quick bump up, just from current price to where it crashed. Let's go to Wix, 30%, right? Nice. That makes me happy, actually.
I like to see a happy monkey.
Talcoin, we didn't go back in because we realized I said I'd do all the mark these and then go in and enter, and I didn't have this exchange on the computer. It does, and I said I'll just continue to keep checking in. It does look like it's starting to curl now. Anywhere in this a little bit would be a great entry to hopefully ride back up here. Will be probably holding some of this longer term as soon as I get my other exchange sorted here shortly. Telos, didn't recover as nice as the other ones either. Still looking like it wants the bottom. This one be probably another lower entry. The rest seems to be doing good. The ones that I have a little more difficult recovery is probably where I'll buy that bottom scoop below to help accelerate profits.
You don't think that you could get a wick down below that last red green?
Where?
That critical fear.
In here?
The critical fear, right? Yeah. Well, even further
like
down.
where are you thinking?
Yeah,
like what
there.
price point? What price point?
Sorry, my thing's really 2.6. Oh my goodness, I'm so old. Lower. Stop. Oh, there. Oh, yeah.
So the bottommost candle bodies. You possibly could, and that's why I said I'm waiting because I don't see a curl. I still see a bit of a down here.
Totally.
So this looks like it could still come down like that. And if that's the case, we will have down here, and then I'll snap up here for probably the total of whatever all those entries were. 1, 2, 3, 4.5, I think.
Nice.
I'll leave that one in and see how that plays out. SNX right back at our bottom level, definitely looking like it's starting to tighten and flatten. And that's exactly what we look for before the micro bull indicator, hits. Flattens, crosses, and up it goes. When it curls on the other side, wants to start to come down. There's that curl. There was a nice fake out. There would be something to me I'd be excited about. Came down, entry. You had an entry here too. Right? So now you're having that confirmation, multiple entries, and that just goes to show the market can do what it wants. And that's why it's important to have multiple entries ready to catch these next waves up, or to be real patient and wait for when these crosses just happen in general. But you can kind of whatever suits your comfort level. What was it? That was SNX. That was all the trades that we've gone over that we're going to be following for this next little bit to see how all these play out in the next 2 to 6 weeks and see how we can take these profits with these last few tokens. On the hunt, we did some as well. I'll probably get on a little later or finish that off tomorrow. There is still some positions. Absolutely. There's some good entries out there. How are you feeling, Crypto Katie? You got some time?
I mean, I've got time. I'm just hanging out and listening. I got time.
All right, let's
What
do
do
it.
you want to do? Where are you going? How far are you going? How deep?
Well, what you were talking about earlier there is you said how a lot of these tokens are looking similar, and that's because I'm looking for tokens or trading pairs that haven't hit those tops. Trying to break all-time highs or things like that isn't necessarily something I want to chase. I'd rather find decent projects that just haven't pumped yet, that have good teams, and that's what, when I go on the hunt through these, is typically what I'm looking for. So we went through our list. I think we got up to P. We did it alphabetically. I know it drives you crazy.
I don't mind having a mix. I like a mix.
But we started and got all the way up to there, and I said I'd finish it off. Now, full disclosure, I'm not in any of these trades yet. I am looking for 10 trades at the moment, and I'm going to probably line up 35 to 40 of them. And out of that list, I'm going to take my favorite 10 that have the best opportunity for the best return based on their current price to their next highest level of resistance. Now, it's not a localized resistance. I'll be looking at weekly resistances at that point, and what is the likelihood of them getting to there. The ones that have those best ROIs are the ones that I'll be taking. But that is the start of a hunt. To me, trading, the majority of trading is research and digging and analyzing. Spent probably about 3.5, 4 hours last night. I've spent a little bit today, and I'll probably have about another 3 or 4 tomorrow to get through and finish this list for my 10. Will some of these coins be in different positions by then? Absolutely. But that little bit of a difference doesn't make much in the big picture. So why don't I'll quickly run through them as fast as I can. So we have 3 tabs going, this one, and this one. So these are, I'm looking to, like I said, put a flat amount of money, just set and forget. And we started looking. The first one we came across was bull, and we said it needed to hold this line here or it was going to continue to go down. It did not. So I would not be taking this entry. Please don't. Obviously, what I am going to do with some of these is continue to monitor them. We made a list also when we were doing the hunt. That's probably got about another 20 on it that were probably a day or 2 away for some good entries as well. But I'm going to leave the circle there knowing, hey, that's where I looked before, on hours before, because we were putting these to the right where there were no candles yet. So we can see how it played out in response to the bad news, and then how is it recovering. So even when you've done this work and you haven't taken the trade, there is a ton of data that you have for yourself to learn from as a trader. And you'll start to see the ecosystem of these tokens and how are they responding to things or events that are. Now, this is also a very small market cap, so understandably it did not handle it well. Cardano almost coming right back down. It's compressing. A support bid here would have been smart, and on its way. I've never been a massive ADA fan, but I don't fade it because of that. And I do believe getting back up to these levels here from current price at our entry, I mean, even if you just took it to right now to there, what would that be? I meant to grab that, not the line. 25% just to here, 24, 25. You'd probably get a wick down somewhere in here. I don't want to give entries right now. I want to narrow this list, like I said, but we'll keep where I posted just to see how it did play out. Because remember, we didn't have any of this information here. We're looking for the bellies of the bears when this was happening. AGIX held held pretty good. Bad. But you can see now how much it's compressed, how it really wants to make that cross and, get up back to these levels. And so from current price to there, 66, to its daily resistance, held this daily support, as long as the money still starts to come in, I'd probably get a wick down here saying I'm not going to do this, but here we are. Wouldn't surprise me. Look at the compression. They're all following very similar class, because the money's clearly coming into the alts, even though it looks like we're having a slight dip, just a slight red. Makes sense. 3 up, a little tiny red. Probably makes sense that you could get an entry in here now, pending no more of the war stuff. Four. Again, I'm not taking any of these yet till I measure them. I will be working on this more tomorrow. We'll see how these line up. Damn, look at that. Does look like we're getting a belly.
I can't fight the feeling this is another like belly fake out.
It could be. It really could be, and that's why I said I really want to wait with these ones a bit. Time is on our side for these ones, and all it takes is a little retaliation back and forth and garbage here and there, and all these. I mean, this is. I think that's what we just did. Sorry. Blockchain bets is actually in profit. Or did we just? Beam is in profit with a bullish cross. Beam is a long-term bag hold. I've been saying this from January. We called this early January. This was one of our first trading coins. And to get out, now would be a good time to get back in, as we've been calling. Probably, there's always pullback after the big greens, right? So Beam, I'm happy with how that played out. Canto definitely dipped, looking like it's starting to get the belly. Entry on the Bollinger. Entry. Probably catch a stinky wick. Please, yeah, this is just being real quick and dirty, just like it was when we were in the bellies. Like, these made good senses then because we're in a belly. Is this a belly before another down and go to here? Tough to tell. And the only thing that's going to tell that is our total market cap over the next couple of days. I'm in the belief that money is going to start to flow back in, and the Chicken Little Sky is Falling is calmed down a bit.
So we're just rolling through seeing things we've seen and targets, and we're moving the targets around as the
Mhm.
candles show up, So
Don't marry your TA, you know. We talk about that. I try to be, hey, you know, I'm not taking these. Do not take these, but I can't go, hey, this is where I would be with the current situation without giving them. But the ones when I do say I'm going to give, I'm flat out. Here they are, and I post them in our Discord with the sheets, the buy stuff from the exchange. And I mean, I admit when I make mistakes.
absolutely.
Crown.
And this is just shows you just kind of, even though you've got other active stuff going on, that you're always poking your head in to see if things are getting into position or if you need to adjust anything. It's nice. It's a nice
You
back and
know
forth.
me. You know me. How often is TradingView open, and how many rooms of the house?
Yeah, I mean,
I
how
mean,
many
nothing.
screens? How many screens in every room is the question.
I mean, Crown hit did well. So I was excited about that. I think you'll still catch a stinky wick into this area. We'll see. It did hit, I believe. I missed that. Sitting here squinting. I don't have my glasses. They're right here. Idiot. Oh, I've gone an hour and 7 minutes and just figured that out. And,
And migraine.
and the idiot award goes too. So I mean, we hit our entry beautifully. It only dipped that little bit right to our support line of that. And going back, I've been wanting to raise because I was missing my stink bids before, and I think I have to go back to my habit of putting my stink bids on my support lines, and they'll be better. This is something now that I would be putting in my notes if this was an actual trade that I took, and I'm really starting to see that these last little layups, I've noticed that trend. And this is where keeping notes as a trader is one of those unsexy things. But every trade you do, when you're in them, whether it's winning or failing, I take notes because your brain will trick you over time and lie to you. Your notes won't, unless you're writing down blatant lies. Not bad. Nice recovery on engine. Can't be off by thinking, can't be that upset by a little bit off when our goal is that to here. Will we get probably a better entry right now with what's happened? Yeah. Probably get a wick back down into maybe those levels. That's where I would be looking. There's a quick update.
That's a lot more conservative than where I would put it, but I don't know much.
I mean, it could go down more, and like I said, I'm just doing this quickly from yesterday to today. This is quick and dirty. I will be totally, and some of them I
Oh,
didn't
no,
even
I
put
understand
in.
exactly what you're saying. I'm just saying if we're
Uh,
being the who's right, me or you,
yeah,
we
cool.
should put a lower bid on there.
I think
Yeah.
when you go through as many tokens as I do in pairs, and you try to keep who you did with what for what show or for what wallet or for what, um, I don't. I would rather have a chart for that. I'm not saying I wouldn't want to do that. It'd be great. Um, in here,
Okay.
but when I'm doing that, I'm not sure if that's your bid or my bid. Like I named a couple so I wouldn't forget. But then you might go back and go, why did I ever put that there? But it wasn't me. It may have been you,
Because
right?
I'm a
So I
genius.
tried
You put it on the chart. Move on.
right. So some of these we didn't put anything in because we said on the hunt it had to break this tops of these rectangles, and it wasn't giving any indication that it was. And I said if it didn't retest on the top of it like it did here, very good indication it's going back towards the downside, and that's exactly what it did. And it's showing strength here at this price point now. Which is healthy, and why you're starting to see this plateau of the micro bear to want to switch to get back up into these levels. Gala is a soft spot for me. I talk about it all the time. I used to swing in and out of Gala on the regular because you would get these nice, 3 to 6 cent swings, and I mean, anytime you can double your money up in a swing, I'm in. But for Gala, you would probably be looking at, I would think right now that I have that confirmation that I didn't have before that it was not going to retest. I think probably in there seems reasonable. We'll be looking at this tomorrow to see, hey, with the news and the events, did that seem reasonable? We were in the belly. It was up here. We were thinking cheeky, sneaky bid under the weekly, and it came all the way down to where it was critical. And it is looking like it's having actual problems breaking this level, which is not a healthy sign. If it can't break here and it's tried, you can see how these lines are going straight. And that's only going to get worse if it can't break this level, which means it is probably coming down to whatever is down here from the past. That just became a lot more bearish to me than it was bullish. Now that might start to curl and hold, but at this point, I don't have that indication, and I would still continue to wait. I would recheck because if it came and it started to curl, you don't want to miss something that's super low. I mean, GMT has been, leave that there. GRT, I mean, a nice recovery from all that news. Clearly, this is going to become a little bit of resistance. But you can see we are getting that compression to come up to the micro bear. Probably get a pullback on a green candle. On a red candle. Possibly somewhere right in there on those two lines. Tough to say at this moment, but it doesn't seem unreasonable. Saying I've been putting them too high lately. Let's put that into action. Have a look. A couple of practice shots on the hunt, so to speak. Kusama. Kusama's been good to us too this year. We've done well with it. Good recovery. That wasn't too much of a dip. Looking like it's coming to the bullish cross, the level. Same thing. Just wait. Let's make sure no one else wants to, because it could easily come right back down to these levels here. And like I said, also we've had that short go around where you're never going to have that perfect entry, and if you wait too long for the best entry, sometimes you get left out on the sidelines. And are you going to worry about a price point in here and completely miss if it goes all the way up to these levels? You know, that's where you start to kick yourself a bit too, and that's why I say there is no perfect entry, but let's practice a bit together and see how I'm lining up what I'm looking for and how they play out. I mean, half of you are my friends and family, I think. Do we have any comments or questions or hellos?
No, man, we're just hanging. Got a few people listening on Twitter. Not sure where those people are in the world. They can message me and let me know.
We should do a photo contest.
What kind of photo contest?
I don't know. Coolest abstract hometown photo. Something like that.
That'd be cool. You and I compete with photos all the time when we're popping around.
One of my favorite pastimes. So Manta definitely took the hit, recovering and holding this line. Probably get looking like a wick in this area. We'll recheck all of these tomorrow, like I said, and then I'm going to measure all these points. Like I said, if this is our big time goal here is to get up to this level, how does this one compare to all the others that we're just rifling through now? And whatever looks the most reasonable in also, how long did it take to go from here to here, from here to here? I'll measure that kind of thing as well. And I'll incorporate all that data to go, okay, these are the trades I want out of all the ones I've just found. And by taking that approach, I find I've had not financial advice, but pretty good success. Because you can't be in every trade. And there's not always a trade. And that's why I have such a big list of decent projects, because I can go hunting for those trades. They're out there. You just got to find them. So it was Manta. We're getting close to done here because perp I didn't even mark up. We just got to it. Matic looks like it's right at the line we said, just below. And it's just like everything else coming into that compression zone. Will it get back down to there? Let's find out. I keep saying I'm being too high, so this is a good test to go, hey, if you want to practice trade or practice your entries and learn how to read these indicators, and you can go, okay, well, this is in a sell position, this is critical fear, red out, green in, buy, curve is a buy, another curve, plateau, compression. You can just mark up your own charts and wait a few days and watch how it plays out. You don't always have to have money in the game to get better at it. You just have to take it seriously, and learn from your mistakes. It's always better when you have real skin in the game. But when you have skin in the game, there's always nothing else to do. You can just got to go, okay, what do I think is going to happen here? What seems reasonable? What would I be happy with as an entry? And how long would I ride it out?
And even if you come and watch each time we're on just to see the money flow cycle too, just to watch that, just to get an idea of where it's all happening. You don't have to watch every one of our entries, but the concepts are all the same, and the idea of following the money flow cycles the same. Am I right?
Absolutely. The strategy never changes. The tools never change. How we use them never changes. It's just finding where these entries, this belly on whatever time frame that was at the time, how it drastically shifted. Yeah, we were coming up to a bullish cross. We were way up here. We were thinking, hey, if we can get here and go, that'd be great. Came all the way down. Didn't even get that cross. And that is now, this is a micro, I believe we figured it was a gaming coin. These are the risks. And it didn't hold the weekly support, which is unlike so far almost every other trading pair we've looked at. So it's showing a little weakness in this token compared to others. But I mean, there's still some decent gains to a localized high on 4 hour. Same thing, we'll measure all this. We'll look and compare. Does this one beat the others? Don't know yet. But I agree with you. Like, if anything to take from what we do, the most important thing is the money flow cycle, because all of this is the same, but all of this is all affected by the money flow cycle. Hey, we're in profits. Yay. Compress going.
But anything we talk about here and how we analyze all of these things, use the same for the money flow cycle. Yeah. I just love the patterns of it, the consistency.
It took a while to figure out. Like, for those that don't know, I'm self-taught. I don't have a degree in any of this high functioning. I found out I'm high functioning autistic and good with patterns and numbers, and here we are. And it's been kind of a hell of a journey.
I wanted to say this earlier because you mentioned it. Thanks for doing all this extra work on things that do not matter. And obviously, we're gonna you have to my own R, to find out what things work for me, and always can explore different things. But I appreciate you checking out all of those indicators and things, so we don't have to try out hundreds to even be, remotely successful in this. So I appreciate you for doing that.
Oh, thanks. I mean, I invested in a company that gives us the IP rights to use some of these, and that's why we're able to give them away. And I helped work with some of them. And Bollinger is a free one. The dude's a genius. And then just with the strategies, and you put them all together, and it's that confluence we were talking about. And it's been good.
And then it's just fine tuning it, and you're just always kind of fine tuning that confluence and just trying to layer it all on top of each other.
Yeah. I'm actually excited to return to all of these tomorrow. May even do a special hunt tomorrow to just focus on these.
We'll be in the office together tomorrow.
I'm excited.
IRL.
IRL. I mean,
which means I'm gonna have a killer coffee tomorrow.
Just so slightly down. Look at all that strength from these wicks to say, hey, this is a price point here, and we're getting the compression to go to that upward side. It was, very little. Probably catch another sticky wick down a bit by the look of how these wicks and this token's trading. Move it lower because I've been saying I need to move them lower. What is that? 84. Interesting. Yeah, and that's right. This one had some nice 2-day swings, like lots of nice consolidation W's in there. This would have been a great daily swinging. We'll see how this goes. Curious to see how this looks tomorrow. And then I don't believe we got actually into perp. This is where I think 6:30 in the morning rolled around for me, and I was starting to get a little tired. And I did say it looked like we were coming into a micro bear, but we were coming also into a buy, and it would need to hold this level, which it looks like it literally is doing. And that's on the weekly. That makes more sense. Definitely seeing that compression in this area. Yeah, I'm a little more confident. I think we didn't mark it because I was just tired. Like, when was the last time we were down in these areas? Like February. People were crying for these kind of entries. And when it comes down back to them, it's panic and it's everything's over again. What are we noticing? Bear, bull, bear, bull, bear, bull, bear. This one hurt.
Laugh, cry, laugh, cry, laugh, cry.
Right, exactly. And this one hurt because, Black Swan. And when we look at other major events, highest time, and it's probably right around when that was probably right around the all-time at the time or whatever it was, you can start to make sense of what these ups and downs are. Nothing goes straight up, nothing comes straight down. And it's not going to happen overnight. I know. I'm sorry. Bullshit.
Yeah, I didn't sign up for this crap.
Yeah. Well, it's going to take a little bit of learning and work.
I'll tell you what, I could lose my money faster if I went to the casino. I'll tell you that right now, sir.
I tell you what. So we'll stop there because that's kind of where we got to the wee hours of yesterday, and it kind of catches you up on a lot of the trades that we're hunting that aren't taking yet. I mean, you can, it's your money, do whatever you want. And I don't think these are too far off or bad positions, but as we always say, this is the boss. And we would just say we're about to expect a little bit of a red when I flashed back last time because we have a bunch of up. That makes sense. And then we're narrowing this gap. And then we go up, we go back, then we go up, then we go back. And even if we do this for a little bit, consolidation builds strength for breakouts. Black Swans right now. So I think this is just a cool off. It's been great to cool off the markets, to keep moving to the.
This definitely humbled everyone just a little bit, though.
Yeah, and the importance of taking profits.
Yeah,
You
We all
don't have
got
to take all the money, but if you're up and you have your profit, or if you have your initial investment in it, take out your initial investment, let the rest ride, or take out half, ladder out, but take something, because not to be that guy. If you don't, I will, and I appreciate you playing my bills.
I
Hopefully,
was
it's not
looking for
you.
I was looking for another Richard to add to the flock.
I love it. I think that's it that I have from me. Did you have anything else you wanted to say before we take off?
Well, I know that we have our DGen giveaway and a couple of shows. I'm not exactly sure. We're going to talk about that later, what that involves, but we're going to do 69 giveaway, and then well, normally we do 70, but we're going to degen it, and then we're going to go 80, 90, and then 100.
For the giveaways for the show?
Yeah.
Sounds
Giveaways for
like
the
a
show.
good idea for the
So excited.
69th episode, the 80th, 90th, and 100th. We will announce what that is tomorrow because our team's going to get together and figure out what we have as prizes as the best ones to do when.
We've thrown out some ideas.
So yeah, see you tomorrow, 6 p.m. 7
Jeepers.
PST.
7 p.m. We'll see you guys all there. We'll see what's going on with these trades. Of course, the market cap, the money flow cycle, and the usual 4 we look at. At the very least, come and watch that. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Pope, thanks for all your words, man. You must be exhausted. Go get a drink or something.
Oh, it's that.
Later, Gators.